JMC 6000 here, and before me I have the 2024 newly refreshed Kia Sorento. I wanted to grab this vehicle because last week I did the Hyundai Santa Fe, and this one is its platform mate, the Kia Sorento. So I wanted to kind of do a compare and contrast. I mean, they're both built off the same, I believe it's called the N5 architecture through Kia Hyundai rather, but what I wanted to do is go through this video. So first let's look at the outside, and then we'll walk around it, go through, look at the window sticker, and then we'll go through some of the interior bits as well. But as you can see, the newly refreshed Kia Sorento, they kind of went with this new version of Kia's Tiger Nose grille. And up front here, this is the S model. And up front here, you have LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and full LED headlights and high beams. This particular model does not come with fog lights, and I'm not quite sure if Kia does equip the Sorento with fog lights anymore. But what it does have is aero curtains that go through here, and they go around the tires, so it helps with aerodynamics. And I will say that being that this is the S model, well, I can't just go away just yet. Just hold on, bear with me, I'll get there. Right now, it's running the Continental Cross Contact LX Sport tires. 235/60 R18s. They're actually a pretty good looking tire. I like what they chose for this particular Kia. If this is not the XRT, it's not the sport model, this is just a regular Sorento S. Got a little bit of some silver trim that kind of shines up right here. You got LED turn signals in the mirrors, and come around the side. I love the way this thing looks. Come around the side. On the back, now on the lower trims like this S model, you get only incandescent taillights, incandescent running lights, and incandescent turn signals. Unfortunately, they did redesign the taillight to have this kind of new design, very reminiscent of what's up front. But on the lower trims, it's only incandescent. On the higher trims, or from what I understand, the XRT and higher, you do get all LED. But unfortunately, in this model, it is not LED. You have the backup lights way down here, and I believe those are incandescent as well. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk. This is not a power lift gate, but this is what the trunk looks like. I'm going to fold one side down, move these guys out of the way, and then under here we have a jack, some tools. I can actually lift out, and I wonder if the spare tire's underneath, or is it in? The spare tire is underneath. Look at that. You can see the muffler. We have this is all-wheel drive, so you can see the differential under there. Awesome. So you got a little bit of storage back here, but being that this is a smaller 3-row SUV, it's kind of compromised, but definitely bigger than, let's say, the Mitsubishi Outlander. And also, I would say this is a little bit smaller than its platform mate, the Hyundai Santa Fe that I reviewed last week, but still a usable 3rd row and some decent storage back here. I think it's like 13 or 14 cubic feet. Anyway, manual closing of the rear deck. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do a, before we look at the window sticker, I want to go ahead and show you what it looks like on the inside here. This, I'm sitting behind myself. Don't know why my headrest is all the way up, but sitting behind myself now, I can recline the 3rd row back pretty far, and or 2nd row rather, pretty far. Right about there. I got air vents back here, which is nice. I can't control my air back here, but I do have air vents. I do get a 12-volt power outlet and USB Type-C on either side of the front seats, which is pretty cool. And some map pockets down here, some cup holders. I do got a armrest down here if I don't have middle row, or don't have something in the middle row between us. A little bit less storage right here. I'm not quite sure what's up with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jimmy myself in the 3rd row. All right, so there's a button up top here of the seat. Oh, look at that. Let me see if I can get myself back in the 3rd row. Oh, man. All right. Now, that's not all the way back, but hey, why don't you put it all the way back for me? There's a bar. Oh. Okay. So, all right, this is all the way back. I don't have a lot of toe room back here to really put my feet underneath the seat. But other than that, my legs aren't pressed up against this. And it's actually decent headroom back here. Again, it's a tight third row. I would call this an emergency third row if needed. Great for smaller kids, but me being 5'10", it's okay for my size. It's a little bit tight. You do get some cup holders, some charging back here. And if I wanted to, I can fold this seat by hitting this button. Oh, look at that. Now I'm going to get myself out without falling. Oh. Yes, I'm kind of agile for 215 pounds. All right. Well, there we go. Why don't you go ahead and let's look at the window sticker. This particular color on this vehicle is called Wolf Gray. Definitely kind of a unique color. It kind of reminds me of the, is it Cactus Gray that Ford has? Something similar to that. Anyway, all black interior. We'll go look at the interior here in a little bit when we look at the front row. But this, again, is a Sorento S all-wheel drive. Pretty much, it doesn't really have a lot of options outside of the panoramic sunroof, LED interior lighting. That's a $1,300 option for those two. That's carpeted floor mats, which we saw in the back. And the Wolf Gray paint is $500, $495. All told, with the Sorento S and everything, you're looking at $39,785. So almost 40 grand for a, I mean, not bad for a 3-row, kind of a smaller, compact crossover. I like the wheel design for these 18-inch rims. Let's go ahead and do an inside interior review. I'll look over my likes and dislikes, and we'll go from there. All right, JMC 6000. I'm back in the Sorento 2024. Let's go over this interior real quick, and I'll go over my likes and dislikes of this Sorento. Kind of a couple things I wanted. Let's go over my likes real quick of this Sorento. Number one, I really do like the way this looks compared to its platform mate, the Hyundai Santa Fe. I think this looks better. I love what they've done with the new Tiger Nose grille, the kind of refresh that they did to this thing. I'm a big fan, and I don't think the Sorento is kind of a jelly bean type of every single SUV you see out there. I know I got a lot of criticism for criticizing the new Santa Fe, but please hear me out. Not everybody likes boxy vehicles, and I know it's different. I know that some people like boxy vehicles and everything else, but not everybody likes boxy vehicles. I'm kind of one of them. I like a little bit of style to my vehicles, not just riding around in a Ophi box. And this, I believe, has some style to it. Yes, it's a little bit compromised in the interior room because of the style, but I love the new front end. I think it looks great. I've always been a big fan of this generation Sorento, which came out a couple years ago, but I think the new front end looks nice. Kia updated the interior, which we're going to go over here next, and my second like. And my second like has to be this interior. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of all black interiors, but one of the things I will say what Kia has done in here is they added a little bit of touch of some silver trim, some matte finishes, silver around, which we're going to go over this here in a little bit, but some different texture and finishes around here. This is kind of nice. Some geometric shapes going on right here. Silver door handles, and some white stitching on the seats and on the armrests and everything. It actually feels kind of comfortable in here, even though this is an all black interior. I will say this is their kind of like imitation leather seats, but they are perforated. They're not ventilated seats, but they are perforated. So even though they're black, they probably won't get as hot as, let's say, like a solid vinyl or solid imitation leather seat without the perforation. So I do appreciate Kia that these seats are heated in this thing. And then, so anyway, this interior I really do appreciate. And then finally, I wanted to say I really do like the intuitiveness of the controls in the Kia. It's a plus and minus, but let me go and kind of touch upon this. The adaptive cruise and how the lane centering works really works well. Kia's done a great job. Hyundai has done a great job with that. And also another thing I love about this interior, and another highlight, is I actually get a traditional shifter. You know, I can slap it and do some gear changes because this has a traditional 8-speed automatic instead of the dual clutch. So let's go over my dislikes about this vehicle. 3 likes, 3 dislikes. Number 1 dislike has to be the steering wheel. I love the intuitiveness of the controls and everything. I do appreciate that, but the leather kind of feels cheap. I don't know. It just feels a little cheap and chintzy. It's really hard and everything else, but and it's kind of oafy design. But the steering wheel, I think, could have been a little bit better, a little bit softer leather on here, and not feel as cheap. So that's another dislike. Second dislike I have for this vehicle has to be this screen right here. So we have 1, 2, 3 screens. Now this particular screen can switch from interacting with the main screen with home. You can do all kinds of stuff on here. Love Kia's new system, but you can do map, which will bring me to the native map screen. We're going to hit home for that, and this all interacts with the radio. This is my volume knob and some different things, and this is the tune knob. Now if I want to interact with the climate screen, I have to switch that to climate. Now all my climate things come up. It's a little bit weird. I think once you continue to live with this vehicle, you'll get used to that. But again, it's a little bit weird. And I wish there was some dedicated buttons just for climate, just for radio. I don't know how hard it would be to do that, but instead of switching back and forth, I think that would have been easier to be done that way. Anyway, and then my third dislike for this particular vehicle is it is a little bit on the tight side. And I appreciate what Kia has done here, but it just feels a little bit tighter in here versus the Hyundai. Many people like the Santa Fe because of how airy and open it feels on the inside. If you can get over the exterior looks, it's actually not a bad vehicle, and I appreciate what Kia is doing with this platform. Also, well, we're going to get into the powertrain on my drive, so stay tuned for that. Overall, I believe this is a great vehicle. It's right in line with pricing with the Santa Fe and other vehicles in its class for the smaller compact SUV segment that has the ability to haul up to, in this vehicle, 7 people. So you can't beat that. I love the traditional shifter. We have different connections here for your USB-C. You can charge, you can interact with the touchscreen, and some charging right there. It does have a wireless charging mat, which I believe is right here. Then you got different drive modes. Anyway, and a good size center console right here. It feels very nice. I love the softness of this as well. Anyway, so just my overall thoughts and expectations that I have regarding this particular vehicle. I think it's a great buy. And personally, if given the choice between this or the Santa Fe, I would choose this over the Santa Fe every day of the week. Why? Because I think this looks better than Santa Fe, and you get a lot of the same technology that you get in the Santa Fe because Hyundai and Kia are the same company. Just be mindful that you don't have as much headroom in here as you would in the Santa Fe, and it feels just a little bit tighter than you would in the Santa Fe, but because of the exterior dimensions, that makes total and perfect sense. All right, stay with me in the drive, and I'll give you my overall impressions and thoughts as we go into the driving portion of this particular vehicle. Thank you. All right, JMC 6000 here in the driving review of the 2024 Kia Sorento. This is the S trim, and one of the things I didn't say as I'm going up my usual route, the hill and everything, one of the things I didn't say was the powertrain. I do apologize for that. This has the same 2.5 191 horsepower powertrain that was in the Hyundai Sonata that I reviewed. Pretty much the same powertrain, 2.5 liter, 191 horsepower, about 180-ish pound-feet of torque, coupled to a traditional 8-speed automatic, which is different from the 8-speed dual clutch that is in the Hyundai Santa Fe that I reviewed last week. So that has the 8-speed dual clutch. This particular vehicle has the 8-speed traditional automatic transmission. Now, one of the things I'm getting as I'm about ready to go up my hill here is I think the 191 horsepower 2.5 liter is absolutely a perfect and fine engine for the Sonata. But as I'm as I'm driving this engine and everything for this particular Kia Sorento, it's a little bit lazy in its power. It's gotten up to 2,500 RPMs. As it's going up this hill here, it's just not as responsive as what it could be in this particular vehicle, because this vehicle, I believe it weighs just over 4,000 pounds. So it's a little bit heavy, and it's taxing this 2.5 liter just a little bit more. It did jump up to about $3,000. Now it went back to 2,500. But other than that, it's a smooth powertrain. I do love the 2.5 liter. It's dual injection, so it's not only direct injected, but it's also port injected. And it's dual variable cam timing on both the intake and exhaust. But other than that, this engine doesn't have a turbo or anything like that. Now, if you step up like to the XRT or some of the higher trims, you do have the availability of getting a 2.5 liter turbocharged, but with the dual clutch. There's also a hybrid powertrain that's available. It's going to be late availability for the 2024 if you'd like the updated styling and the updated interior. There are some 2023s that are still roaming around with the hybrid powertrain, but you are going to pay a little bit more for that as well. But anyway, overall, just crested the top of the hill. The 8-speed traditional automatic performed very nicely. It didn't hunt for gears or anything like that, so I do appreciate that in this particular powertrain. But there again, it handles bumps really nicely. This is very smooth and compliant ride, and it's a very nice experience driving this thing. It's not very loud in here, even with these Continental tires. It handles bumps okay. Again, it's pretty much a smooth ride. Some of the bumps, it can kind of crash a little bit over bumps, but I think I said that in the Hyundai Santa Fe as well. But again, it's platform made. But other than that, it does well in its driving dynamics, and I have no issues. It seems to handle corners fine. And for what it is, it's a decent riding family vehicle. It can be a little stiff, but it's not like overly obtrusive, if that makes sense. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I do apologize for not showing the engine, but if you want to see the engine, the exact same one in the Hyundai Santa Fe that I reviewed. So if you guys want to look at that, you sure can. Appreciate you guys. You guys be blessed. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Again, I upload every single Wednesday morning and every single Saturday afternoon here on the James C 6000 channel. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for every time I upload a new vehicle review or JMC Garage Talk, which is coming up this Saturday afternoon. Thank you guys. Tune in again. Appreciate you. Be blessed.